Greetings. It's Tuesday, 3rd December, 10:30 p.m. viewers. You're still watching us on ERi-TV, presenting you the domestic and international news prepared for this hour. Live from our headquarters of Asmara is me, Hermela Gurmai, inviting you to join us on our tonight's news broadcast. Let's start with the major headlines. Eritrea participates in Conference of Parties of UN Convention to combat desertification. International Day of Persons with Disabilities observed in Assab. US announces new $725 million military aid package for Ukraine. And NATO countries set to kick off major war exercise near Russia. On our detailed domestic news, Eritrea is participating in the 16th Conference of Parties COP16 of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification UNCCD, being held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia from 2nd to 16th December 2024 under the theme Our Land, Our Future. The delegation, led by Mr. Semena Amresom, Director General of the Agricultural Extension Department at the Ministry of Agriculture, is expected to participate in the high-level segment, plenary discussions and technical sessions addressing desertification, land degradation and drought. According to official information, this COP is the largest ever meeting of the UNCCD's 196 country parties and the European Union. It's anticipated to be a landmark event for accelerating actions related to the land restoration, drought resilience and green transitions. The UNCCD reports that 40% of the Earth's surface is affected by land degradation, impacting the lives of 3.2 billion people. Additionally, approximately 100 million hectares of land deteriorates annually. Furthermore, 86% of the UNCCD member countries, which means 169 out of 196, are affected by desertification, land degradation and drought. The UNCCD was established in 1994 and Eritrea ratified its membership in 1996. The Conference of Parties of the UNCCD is held every 2 years, with COP15 previously convened in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire in 2022. In other news, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, marked annually on December 3rd, was commemorated at the national level of the port city of Assab. This year's theme was amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. Mr. Yosef Sahaya, head of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare branch in the region, commended for the decision to observe the day in Southern Red Sea region at national level. He emphasized the ongoing efforts to strengthen community-based programs addressing the needs and rights of persons with disabilities. Speaking at the event, Mr. Mehret Af Sahaya, General Director of Social Welfare of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare, underscored the importance of the day as a reminder to ensure the well-being of citizens with disabilities. He called for providing necessary support to empower them to become self-reliant and productive members of the society. Ambassador Mohammed Said Mantai, Governor of the region, reiterated that persons with disabilities are both beneficiaries of the nation's resources and contributors to the nation-building process. He urged every citizen to recognize and support the rights and needs of persons with disabilities as a collective responsibility. The event also featured various cultural programs reflecting the day's significance. In another domestic news, the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students has provided training to over 1,400 members at the Warsaika Alu School in Sawa. The comprehensive training program covered a wide range of topics, including nation and nationalism, concept and significance of politics, youth and national service, national charter, administration and leadership, acquaintance with nature and objectives of government, foundation of Eritrean national culture, health and productivity of youth, culture and values of the Eritrean people, nation building and development sociology portraying and apparatus, the unity of the Eritrean people, globalization and its influence, importance and influence of media outlets, as well as the history of the armed struggle for independence and resilience for safeguarding the nation's sovereignty. At the closing ceremony on 1st December, Mrs. Helen Amina, a member of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, highlighted the progress of the national development programs and expressed confidence that the trainees will contribute significantly to nation building with the knowledge they had acquired. She also extended gratitude to the National Service Training Center and the Warsai Kaalo School for their support in successfully implementing the program. Colonel Debasaigida, commander of the National Service Training Center, encouraged the trainees to serve as role models and actively lead in advancing the union's programs. In a related development, the National Confederation of the Eritrean Workers branch in the southern Red Sea region provided vocational training to 80 workers, including 58 women, in the port city of Asab. The training focused on enhancing skills in computer technology, mathematics, as well as administration and leadership. Mr. Hussein Khalid, head of the National Confederation of the Eritrean Workers branch, emphasized that the training aimed to enhance workers' overall capacity and enable them to play a pivotal role in implementing programs effectively. Participants expressed appreciation for the training opportunity and called for the initiative to be sustained in the future. Dear viewers, stay tuned for our international news right after the short break. Welcome back. The US has announced a new $725 million military aid package for Ukraine, with weapons and munitions to be provided from Defense Department stocks. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan earlier claimed there would be a massive surge in deliveries to Kyiv in the final weeks of the current administration. In a press statement on Monday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken unveiled another significant package of urgently needed weapons and equipment for Ukraine. The Pentagon confirmed the report, adding that is the 71st such package provided to Kyiv by the administration of the President Joe Biden since August 2021. Last month, the Biden administration announced plans to provide Ukraine with landmines for the first time since the escalation of the conflict, a move criticized even by Western human rights groups. President-elect Donald Trump has repeatedly vowed to put a swift end to the war in Ukraine. His supporters have suggested that Biden is trying to sabotage any prospect of a peaceful settlement. Russia has consistently denounced Western weapons delivery to Ukraine, insisting that they only serve to unnecessarily prolong the bloodshed while unable to change the course of the conflict. On our final international news, NATO countries are set to kick off major war games in northeast Estonia near the border with Russia on Monday, focusing on the rapid deployment of the bloc's forces and increasing their interoperability. Some 2,000 troops from Estonia, Latvia, the US, France and the UK are set to take part in the last 2-week lightning exercise, which is part of the NATO's broader Brilliant Eagle program dedicated to increasing the bloc's deployment and cooperation capabilities in the Baltic Sea region. According to the commander of the Estonian division, Major General Indrek Cyril, who is leading the exercises, the war games will focus on rapid deployment of reinforcements and cooperation between French, British and Estonian forces. Units of the French armed forces will carry out a rapid deployment operation to Estonia by air, followed by joint multinational maneuvers on land, air and sea, Cyril said in the press release. Estonian residents have been warned that low-altitude flights will be taking place over parts of the country as part of the exercises, and that loud noises will likely be heard to the use of stimulation ammunition. The exercise comes as the tensions between Russia and NATO have continued to escalate. Moscow has repeatedly stressed that the expansion of the US-led bloc towards its borders represents a threat to its security. Dear viewers, we are done with the news prepared for this hour, and now a quick recap of the major headlines. Eritrea participants in conference of the parties of UN Convention to combat desertification. International Day of Persons with Disabilities observed in Asab. US announces new $725 million military aid package for Ukraine. And NATO countries set to kick off major war exercise near Russia. Dear viewers, that was all for tonight. Thank you for joining us and have a blessed night.